Hey everyone, welcome back. This largely unrecognizable mass of blue on the right here is actually the front panel of the brewery with everything masked off except where I want concrete to be. So as I rotate here a little bit, now the bottom is there. This little strip right here will mostly have the loading dock in front of it, but there'll be some pieces on either end that are exposed. So that's going to be that concrete color, as well as all the window ledges and the trim at the top. And then rotating back around again, sorry about that. This is the piece that goes on the left-hand side of the main front structure, with all the brick masked off again, other than the window trim. But this time, all this concrete bracing that goes around the edge, that will all be painted that concrete color. So this is a little bit of a tedious process. I'm just using this nicer 3M painter's tape, and then I use straight edges and a good sharp X-Acto blade to cut nice in a square. To cut nice, sharp, straight, and square edges measured to fit those spaces. And just gently, carefully place it in there. The idea here is to spend some time on the masking and then have the rattle can be a fairly quick process. So I've got one of these down. I've got to do one more that's like this. Then the two skinnier pieces. And then these, there's two of these side pieces. These will be fairly straightforward. There's just the top trim and the windowsill, but these are the things that make up the elevator structure on top of the structure on the right-hand side. And then, of course, the two pieces I cut, which are here. So the brick there needs to be masked off as well. And the rest of that will be a concrete color. These pieces will largely be hidden. I'm going to do them anyway, but they're largely going to be hidden from view by either the backdrop on the right-hand side in the corner, or sort of going behind the soap company that sits to the left of this building. But that's where we are. I'm going to keep plugging away on this process of masking. All right. Well, I've got the entire structure, the brick masked off, and getting ready now to paint the concrete color. So all these side panels, I carefully measured the dimensions and cut tape to fit down in there to mask off the brick that's already painted to get that nice concrete color on there. Leaving all the windowsills open as well to get that same concrete color. A couple more pieces over here. These are the side pieces that I cut earlier. There and there. The base of the water tower, based on the box cover, it looks like it's concrete. This is the pieces at the tops of the elevators. The only thing exposed is the very top piece of trim and then the windowsill. Two pieces of the support structure for the tower there, and then the loading dock and stairs. I don't know if that's going to show up, but I went through, once I sanded off some kind of rough parts, I went through and scored this with a knife, not really to scale. It's just every 1 to 1 inch. But I did it on the front too, and it makes it look like it's got separate panels. And so after that gets painted, I'll probably put some washes in there just to bring that detail out that I added. And of course the stairs. And I think what I'm going to do is actually put the stairs over here on this end. I think normally they're supposed to go around the end of the kit, but where I'm going to put it on the layout, that will just be up against the side of another building. So that was a lot of work, but I think it's going to be worth it. I think this is going to look good with the multiple colors and making that concrete nice and sharp edge and really make it pop. So I'm going to take it outside and spray her down. All right, so I went over all this with the brick was masked. I went over it with the cement color. I'm using that khaki rattle can, and just kind of looking around. I think I like the way this turned out. I definitely missed a spot right there. I was doing it was kind of dark out. I do like the way that that loading dock turned out. That's a lot better than just the featureless giant rectangle that comes with the kit. So I'm glad I etched those in. Yeah, I'll unmask some of this this brick and show you what it looks like. See if I can get in here and lift some of this up and yeah. Just gently find the edge of it here and lift her up. Now the question is that the color I want for concrete? I think so. I think, let me zoom in on it a little bit. And obviously the brick is still a little shiny from the satin finish and the oil white that went on there. Let me actually lift it and bring it around here. But that's what it's gonna look like. I'll share some little bits of dust or something that ended there, but that's what the building's gonna look like. More dust. But yeah, I think I like that look. I'm happy with the way that's turning out. Go ahead and unmask the rest of this. So that's the way it's gonna look with the layout lighting. I've just unmasked the one section. But I think that turned out nice. I like the look of that under the layout lighting. I do need to still come in with a coat of matte finish over the brick, but I'll do that once I've weathered it up and stuff to kind of seal some stuff in. But yeah, that's a lot better than a white structure held together with blue masking tape for the last 2 or 3 years. Okay, well, I've got most everything unmasked here, and the pieces laid out kind of where they're gonna go. There's a couple little touch-up places right there. I must have rubbed off too much of the cinnamon colored paint, so I'll come in with a brush and kind of touch that up. And a couple other little places. The backs of these, I did some filling in that top left corner, but I don't like the way that looks, so I'm gonna fill in and work on that some more and repaint that area. And I'll just wait to unmask this. This is brick here and so on. I'll just wait to unmask that until I've repainted this piece. This needs to be worked a little bit more before I mask off the brick there and do the same thing. And I think this piece as well. Well, I think that one's, I'll look closely at it. Those bottom ones I'm not worried about. I feel like the roof's gonna cover that up for the most part. And the rest of this, I think I'm in pretty good shape. One other thing that's kind of funny, maybe just me rushing a little bit. These side sections, I assumed there was a giant window that went in there, but there's not. There's a piece that's got either brick that goes around kind of like that with a window or a door in the middle of it. I guess it's a freight door. There's a brick row that goes across the bottom and leaves a space for a window, just like all these other ones. Or it's just a solid bricked in option. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So actually I'm going to need to do 3 of these, one for each side, and then a partial piece that I can cut into pieces to fit there and there. So I've got those cut off the sprue. I missed them. They're a different color on a different sprue, and I guess I didn't really read the instructions that closely. So I'll need to do the brick technique on these pieces as well. And then I was looking at where the loading dock's gonna go and kind of messing around. So that piece is gonna be like that. And where do I want to put these stairs? Do I want them right under the door, which leaves a gap? Do I want to push them up against the edge of the loading dock? Kind of trying to figure out what I want to do. And then I saw, also on a different sprue, there's a couple of these short sections of loading dock. I guess it goes like that. That I guess you could put in this position here if you had a freight door here, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to brick them in. That's going to be hidden. So now I'm thinking, what I may want to do, I think this might work well, if I put that section there and extend the loading dock, and then I can put this right there, like so. Maybe if I cut this little end of the steps off right here, just kind of chop that off, this will fit over so that that top step is flush with the wall there. I think that might look pretty good. I need to go back and look at the layout and make sure I've got room for something like that, but that's something I'm thinking about, or I may just shove it all the way over, or maybe I'll modify this thing so that this would sit, you know, something like that. If I cut this down to size. So kind of playing around with what I want to do there. All right, just to kind of show you guys what I'm thinking I'm going to do here. As you recall from the last video, I've got this positioned so that the car just gets by that loading dock. You can see if it's right in there. So this is where this piece would start. It's roughly in the right place. And if I put the steps in there, I can just about kind of work it down in between those two tracks, and I think that'll look kind of cool. And remember, the rest of this building would be, you know, back against that plane like that. So that will be filled in. So just be some steps coming down in between that track and this one, and maybe do some gravel and dirt and whatever mess down there. I think I like how that looks. I think that's what I'm going to do, and this actually doesn't require me to modify that piece at all. Just clean it up and paint it, and then come in and fill in that hole against the building, and then modify the railing so that it just starts right there and goes down. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I kind of like how that's going to look. Okay, and just to show where I landed with that loading dock, I am going to use this whole piece, and I went ahead and I scribed lines in there and the top surface as well, to match, you know, the 1-inch spacing that I did on the rest of the dock. And then this joint here will just serve as, you know, it'll sort of be hidden by the fact that it's right where it should be in terms of, you know, crack. So I guess now it just needs to be glued together and painted. But first I want to let that little fill I did right there on that hole on the back dry and cure, and then I'll file that down, glue this whole bit together, and then paint it all as one. And here I'm just painting the brick sections that fit in those side pieces where I thought windows went, the same base brick color as the rest of the building. So we'll get that brick coat on there, that nice satin finish, and then we'll do a oil wash with titanium white for the mortar and put them in, and it'll match the rest of the building. And here I just wanted to show how well that oil, that wash flows into that satin finish. I think gloss would work well too. You can just see it sort of disappearing into the cracks. Just watch it just kind of fall. Water doesn't do that, too much surface tension. So I just came back with a little more. A couple spots looked a little light to me. Still kind of working it in there. What I'll need to do here, I'll figure it out eventually as I'm doing it, but I need to dab the brush. The brush has too much paint on it, so I just dab it on a paper towel, get it a little drier, and then I can pick up, like by wick action, just sort of pick up some of that excess. There's a little white blob there I'll come back and grab as well. And then from here, once this is cured tomorrow, I'll just come back and feather that little line that is there. The oils you can keep working for a little while. This is about 10 minutes after I shot that last segment, just showing the little sections as they sit. These are looking pretty good. I'll let these cure probably overnight. I also masked off the sides, all around all 4 sides. There's a little surface there that's where you attach it to the main structure, and I just wanted to keep that bare plastic so that the plastic cement would bond better. So I just masked it off, which also served double purpose of holding the things down so I could work on them. So I'll let this cure. I'll glue it in. I've also filled in all those spots I showed in the earlier segment. It's a couple hours ago. I'm just letting that cure. Probably work on it tomorrow, filing it, and then come in and mask off those couple of brick sections up here where the water tower is. Get those painted, the cement color along with the rest of this the loading dock that I'm adding, and that's where we are. We'll be moving on to after we finish this concrete, we're moving on to windows next. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop this segment here. This video is getting a little long, so we'll stop it here. I hope everybody out there is doing well and is safe and having as much fun in the hobby as I am. If you like what you're seeing here, I've got a couple videos out. Go back and look at some of my other stuff, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks all.